Hello boys and girls and Cougar parents. Today we're going to take a look at another application of the Pythagorean theorem. This time we're going to be looking at the coordinate plane and we're going to be looking at 2 points with a line that connects those 2 points. We're going to be finding the distance between those points, and you guessed it, Pythagorean theorem is going to be very useful in finding the distance between those 2 points. Let's take a look at some sample problems. Okay, let's take a look at numbers 1 and 3 from your homework assignment that you have tonight. We're going to use the distance formula or the Pythagorean theorem to help us find the distance between two points on a coordinate plane. Okay, here we have these 2 points right here, and we want to find the distance between them. Well, how would the Pythagorean theorem help us do that? Well, let's start by drawing a triangle. We go down here. Watch this. If I drop a straight line from there to there, and then from there to there, bingo bango, I've got a right triangle. There's my right angle. Okay. Now I don't know what C is. Okay. That is the mystery. But I sure as well can figure out what A and B will be. The height of this triangle here, it looks like I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 above, 2 below, so it has the height of 7. Just count your blocks. Okay, and then it looks like I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is my base. So again, A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. A is 7. B is 6. C is my unknown. 49 plus 36 is equal to C squared. 49 and 36 would be 85 is equal to C squared. I want to find C and not C squared, so my inverse operation would be find the square root of that square. I do the same thing to the other side. And C is going to equal the square root of 85. And I know that square root of 85 is somewhere between the perfect square of 81 and the perfect square of 100, which is somewhere between 9 and 10. Okay, and if I want to know the exact amount, how far between 9 and 10, I'm going to get a fractional answer. And to find my denominator, I need to find the difference between 81 and 100, which is 19. And then to find my numerator, I take the difference between my perfect square and the number I'm trying to find the square of, which is 4. So that is my exact answer. And if I were to round this to the nearest tenth, I would simply take 4 and divide it by 19. And 19 goes into 40 2 times, which would be 38. I can subtract and get a remainder of 2, bring another 0 down, and 19 will go into 21 times. And I can kind of stop right there. I'm going to say the answer is approximately 9, and it looks like 2/10. So 9.2 approximately. Let me make that, squiggle those lines a little bit. It's not the exact answer, but it's pretty doggone close. We'll do the same thing for number 2 here. Again, I'm going to create a triangle. I'm going to go straight across there, and then from there to there. Okay, there's my right triangle. And again, I don't know the hypotenuse. I don't know what C is, but I use A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. A looks like it's 1. B would be 2. Okay, so I would have 1 plus 4 is equal to C squared. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the square root of 5. Okay, whatever the square root of 5 is. And that will be, I know the square root of 5 is somewhere between the perfect square of 4 and 9. Okay, which is somewhere between 2 and 3. And the exact amount, the difference between 4 and 9, that'll give my denominator is 5. And the difference between those two, 4 and 5, is 1. So it's 2 and 1/5, which I know is 2 and 2/10 exactly. Okay, boys and girls, let's go down to the bottom of the page. Let's take a look at number 7 now. With number 7, they gave us just the coordinates. So you'll need to get graph paper or create your own graph. to be able to solve this problem. The first step is just to plot these points. The first point they gave us is -2, 3. So I go -2 to the left and then 3 up, which would be right there. Okay, that's -2, 3. And then my next point is -7, -7. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way out here, and then 7 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way down here. And that is -7, -7. That's that point there. And then let's connect these two lines, and what we want to do is we want to find the distance between those two lines. And how we do that is we need to drop a perpendicular line straight down. Let me just change up the colors here a little bit. Okay, so we drop a perpendicular line straight down so we can find the height, and then also horizontally so we can find the base. Okay, so there's our right triangle. We know that the height of this right triangle, it looks like it's 3 above and 7 below, which would give us a height of 10 units, whatever these units are. And then the base, we're going from a -2 to a -7. The difference between that is 5. There's an absolute distance of 5. And if I'm not quite confident enough with doing the math, you can just count the units or the blocks. Okay, you can do that horizontally and vertically. Don't try doing that diagonally. You'll get the wrong answer every time. Okay, you can't guesstimate that will not help you at all. Okay, now we've got enough information to use the Pythagorean theorem to find our missing side, which is side C, or the hypotenuse. And we have a square plus b square is equal to c square. A would be 10, b would be 5, and c is what we're trying to figure out. So we have 100 plus 25 is equal to c square, which is 125 is equal to c squared. And then we need to find, we don't want to know what c squared is, we want to know what just c is. So we need to square root that, and what we do to one side of the equation, we do to the other. And we know that the square root of 125 is somewhere between the perfect square of 121 and 144. Okay? The square root of 121 would be 11. The square root of 144 would be 12. So we know it's 11 point something. How do we get that point something? Well, we've done this before. We're estimating the square root of 125. We need to first of all find the distance between our two perfect squares, and the distance between, or the gap, or the span, would be 23. If I took 144 and subtracted 121 from it, I'd get 23. That's my denominator. How do I get my numerator? I find the difference between my first perfect square and the number that I'm trying to find the square root of, okay, which the difference between 121 and 125 is 4. Now that is my exact answer. I believe, though, they ask you to find the answer to the nearest tenth. So now we're going to have to do a little division here, which would be 4 divided by 23, because 4/23 is a fraction, but if we divide this through, we can get a division. If we divide it through, we're going to get a decimal answer. Okay, so 23 would go into 40 one time with a remainder of 17. Then I'll bring down a 0. And 23 would go into 170, I believe, 7 times. 7 times 3 is 21, carry the 2. 7 times 2 is 14, plus the 2 is 16, and we can stop right there. Okay, so our answer would be 11.17. If we were rounding that to the nearest tenth, we would say that it is approximately, side C is approximately 11.2. Okay? Not that hard. There's a good amount of work to solve this problem, but we're all more than capable of doing this. We have 5 more problems like this. Make sure you have graph paper, and I'll see you tomorrow. Yes, I'm back, and I hope it was helpful. And as always, if you have any questions, please, please, please bring them to school tomorrow, and I'll address all of those questions. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.